Good evening. I want to start with Anna's story. It's not her real name, but it's a real story. Anna fled her abusive partner late one night with her 2 children under the age of 5. And this was yet after another act of physical abuse by her partner. And she did what we tell all survivors to do. She sought safety at a shelter. But when she arrived, she was told there's no space. She called 3 more shelters, all full. And with nowhere to go, Anna was left stranded with her 2 kids on the street, facing the choice of sleeping there or going back to her abusive home. She was left searching for a safe place, counting on strangers, and facing vulnerabilities of all sorts. In this room, I'm going to challenge every single one of you. We all know an Anna. Thousands of women and children across this country share this reality. In Canada, a woman or girl is killed every 2 days, and too often that death is at the hands of a current or former intimate partner. We've heard this today in this room. 90% of that time, actually 93% of that time, that partner is a man. And the numbers are even higher for Indigenous, Black and Brown women, gender diverse people, for those living with disabilities, or in poverty. Women in remote, rural, and northern communities are especially vulnerable to trafficking, to death, or disappearance. Every month, shelters turn away nearly 20,000 people because there's no space. That is a population of Carleton Place and Almonte combined, just to give you perspective. That is why this week, YWCA Canada and our members, many of them in this room and online, are here launching our annual signature Rose campaign to end gender-based violence, or GBV in short. In 2025, this year, I wish I wasn't standing here still talking about this issue, but we are here because gender-based violence is not going away. In fact, it's getting worse. We are in a crisis. And when we are in a crisis, a conversation is necessary. My name is Aline Nizigama. I am the very privileged national CEO of YWCA Canada, the country's oldest and largest organization providing services and advocacy to advance gender equity. We represent 29 local YWCAs across this country, 9 provinces and 2 territories, ensuring that women, girls, and gender diverse people who are facing poverty, homelessness, and abuse can access services when and where they need them the most. We've been working on the front lines of this issue for over 150 years. That is, we predate Canada's Confederation. We are 5,000 staff members strong, 5,000. We run GBV and homelessness shelters. We do violence prevention. We offer crisis support. We provide employment counseling and job training. We offer affordable and permanent housing, childcare, and other wraparound services to help survivors not just access safety, but rebuild their lives and thrive. And we cannot keep up. We hear the same story, the same thing across our anti-GBV network, which spans Canada. high workloads, increasingly complex cases, unstable funding, and burnout. And here's another reality. A 2023 Women's Shelters Canada's report revealed that nearly half of frontline service workers, many of them young, report having food insecurity. Just let that sink in. The people supporting and feeding others are struggling to keep food on their tables and feed their own families. This is another aspect of this work that does not get talked about enough. And this is untenable. There is, to me, something deeply wrong with a system where oil and tech executives are making billions, yet the majority women workforce holding up our communities literally is expected to survive on altruism and burnout. So this isn't, it's not just about economics. It's about misaligned collective priorities. And if the scale of this crisis feels daunting, that's because it is. But I'm also here to tell you that it is not unsolvable. Here's what it's going to take to end this crisis in 4 points. It will take prioritization and investment. It's time to fund, and really fund the front lines. Thank you. To move beyond outdated, inconsistent, and inequitable funding practices, to scale solutions that work. To stop treating violence prevention and intervention like charity, and to start recognizing it as the foundation of a healthy society and a prosperous economy. That was the first point. Second point, ending gender-based violence will take sustained action. In 2021, YWCA Canada was among the many organizations that came together and helped establish the comprehensive national action plan to end gender-based violence. It outlined exactly what was needed: a commitment to anti-racism, reconciliation, and equity, to ensure the solutions reach everyone, address historical harms, and it can go far. It also required billions in long-term investments for sustained impact. It called for cross-government coordination, and lastly, it has independent oversight for accountability. And progress has been made, however, not at the scale or speed required. GBV is the only violent crime in Canada that is on the rise. So I'm calling on all levels of government to take this really, really seriously and to commit to maintaining adequate funding and to continue implementing this plan to address all aspects of this issue. Third, ending gender-based violence will take hope. You heard that today. The frontline staff and leaders in the YWCA movement and partner organizations that I get to work with are some of the most fiercely hopeful people that I have ever met. And they show up every day. They save lives. They work with little, and they make the impossible possible. You are here, all of you, because you believe in uplifting these unsung heroes. I'm going to call on all of you to support our Rose campaign, because it's in supporting this work and showing up for the people behind or at the front lines that we get to keep this hope alive and to continue to push our advocacy efforts to ensure systemic change on this issue. The last and very important aspect of how this will end is that it will take all of us. This ends when we all begin to raise our voices louder than ever for those lives that were cut short and for those who cannot speak today here because they are scared. Begin to truly believe survivors and center the voices of those people who have gone through these things in solving for this crisis. Begin to support frontline workers and infrastructure required for the work. I told you earlier about Anna's story. We heard about Aisha's story. Many Annas and their families, thankfully, make it into our shelters and find themselves again. But many, far too many, don't. We must do everything we can to ensure that no one is ever forced to face unspeakable harms due to lack of service capacity. GBV and its ramifications don't have to be. They don't. But this only ends when we all rise and act. We must demand and do better so that everyone is safe at home, at school, at work, at the university, on the street, and online. It's a whole of society issue. It will take a whole of society approach to end it. So pledge today. What can you do? Everyone has a role to do. Everyone has something that they can do today and that they can begin to do today. I'm going to end with this one. By supporting expert organizations like the YWCA, you are making sure that we are fully resourced until this issue is no more. Thank you. Chimigwech. Merci. We'll see you on the other side.